Good morning. Have a very special guest today. Good afternoon. So excited. I'm solo. I'm flying solo, but I'm very excited. We have Megan Kelly from Hepton Bridge, United Kingdom. And Megan's she's like famous in the kettlebell world. So we're super, super excited to have her today. Amanda will be here a little later, we hope. Hi, Amy. I'm excited. So welcome, Megan. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, very exciting. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning in the West Coast. That makes it 4 o'clock, United Kingdom. It's tea time for her. Yeah,
I've got a friend's garden party after this, so that will be good.
I'm still just, I'm in my, got my sweatpants on and still kind of waking up here.
I need to change.
Awesome. Well, Megan is a trainer in Hepton Bridge and very well known, something that, many people may not be aware of, but she is a world record holder. And she has the world record for the most amount of weight moved in kettlebell swings in an hour for a female.
Yeah, I always get confused by the title, but yeah. Most of I think it's kilos lifted, by a kettlebell swing, but in an hour.
And it was like over 2,300 kilos lifted in an hour, which is amazing.
So that was in 2017. Yes, I was aiming to go for 24,000 kilos. And I did something like 1,012 reps, and then of those, there was something I think I got 989. So there was a few disqualified. As I got tired towards the end, my arms weren't high enough, so I was kind of locking out. Like for the first rep, maybe for the last 10 or so sets, the first rep was too low to be counted. So, but I was very happy with that.
Well, it was really, I read the article that you wrote for Strongfirst, which can be found on strongfirst.com. And you kind of mapped out your training plan and how you approached it. And what was so really interesting about it is on paper, it's like, 20 swings on the minute, no problem.
So I very quickly, I've said this before, and I openly will say to people, like, probably very arrogantly, was like, oh, that's okay, I'll be able to, like, I'm conditioned, I know how to swing a 24 kilo bell, I'll be able to do 20 reps on the minute for 50 minutes of the hour, it'll be fine. I worked out I had 10 minutes rest, and I could sort of use that throughout the hour. And then as I started training for it, I very quickly realised that sort of maybe 20, 25 minutes into it, that my grip was not holding out for 20 reps at all. Like I was kind of getting there, and I was like, my forearms were rock solid, and I was like, I can't do this. So I just was like, right, back to the drawing board, like what can I do? And I sort of, at the time, I hadn't been on a strong endurance seminar, but I'd read about it quite a lot on the forum and just generally online. So I was like, started looking into that, and then I was like, right, I'll try 10 reps every 30 seconds, which made a huge, huge difference to my grip. Much harder endurance-wise, but then I was like, it's okay, I can work with that and build it up. And so that's the format I went with.
Yeah, and it was really cool though to read how really and I think it happens with a lot of us, we try something and you start out at point A and it's all of a sudden like, wow, point B seems a long ways away. But with that smart training and just patience, trusting the process.
Yeah, exactly. When I did it that time, I kind of did it as like, I wasn't really doing it for the reason, like the record wasn't the point of the day. So I was trying to raise money, which I just think I talk about in the article as well. My dad's really poorly with MS. So we were doing a fundraising day for the MS Society. And I'd just done it as a 12-hour kettlebell swing-a-thon. So I was like, right, I'm going to get everybody I teach down. We're just going to, like, I just made up fun workouts and stuff. Like, we're just going to, like, see what we can do, who can swing. And just basically like someone was doing 10 swings and the next person did 9, and we just like, so the idea was the entire day there'd be at least one kettlebell swinging for 12 hours. And there was I sort of put a rotor on the wall, and there was this really quiet period around lunchtime. So I was like, right, how can we get people down? So I was like, right, I'm just going to do a world record. I started looking into it, and that was literally, it was nothing really to do with it. And then when I started training, I was like, actually, I really want to do this. Like, I want to go for it properly. And then that's kind of where I got really into that side of things, and then haven't really stopped.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun.
Very cool. And then since then, though, you have done strong endurance twice, right? You have gone through the seminar. And
so I first did it in September 2018. So my record was July 2017.
Okay.
And then I went to Italy in September 2018 and did it there for the first time. That was really cool because it was a really big event. And I met people, so like Harold Lotz, he's German, he's an SFG, and he's really into strong endurance, so I got to meet him, met a few people there and learned a lot. And then it was last summer, I think, here, Pavel came to the UK, and I attended again there, which was really scary because he got me up to talk about it, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't expect him to. It was like, Megan, come up to the front. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, I know.
But it was,
Yeah,
it was really
I've been to a couple events with Pavel. I did strong endurance. I can't remember the year, 2017, I guess. And it was one of the first ones in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And then I had seen him present Plan Strong, the same place a couple years before. Yeah. And yeah, he makes you go up and, right on the board. But it's fun. Yeah, some amazing experience. I keep looking for a strong endurance to either happen closer to me or an online version, because hands down, it's the one that I want to take again, because it's just so much greater.
I loved it, and even though I train a lot with it, going back for a second time, I learned loads more again, and I was like, it just gave me different ideas, and then again he asked for volunteers, so at one point I went, if it was snatches, I think, and I was like, yeah, it was 20 snatches, and we had to sort of do it. There was 6 of us or something up there, and again, it was sort of like, when I first started doing stuff like that, I would never have been like, oh yeah, I'll go up to the front, but then I was like, actually, Pavel's about to watch me snatch and give me feedback, so I'm going up. And it was really good. It was, so yeah, we had a really good time. There was a lot of people there, so yeah, it was good. But then at that point, he said to me then, Pavel, if the record gets broken, let me know. And then I got an email sort of August last year that it had been broken. So that's the point. I was actually with Claire Booth, I think she was on here a few weeks ago, and we were in London, and I was like, oh, and she said, email Pavel, like just email, and I was like, oh, I don't know, and she was like, email Pavel and tell him. So I told him, and then he was like, do you want to get it back? And I was like, ugh. And then he was like, go for it, and sent me this thing to follow. So I'm currently, that's what I'm doing, trying to get it back. So
yeah. Well, and I watched you yesterday post some of your swings, one arm swings with the 40 kilo and the 36, and I gotta say, you make those swings look so easy. You are incredibly strong, and your technique is, oh yeah.
They didn't feel so. I haven't. So I followed this. He adapted basically a strong endurance protocol for me. And I started it. It was probably September by the time I actually started it last year. And I went for the record in March, and I didn't get it in March, so I'm going again later this year. I'm sure we'll go into that in a bit. But at one point, it was just before lockdown, I think, I emailed Pavel and I said, what do you think about me having a play day in my program? Because obviously, like I am very disciplined on, I'll stick to it, but it was sort of like, when it's timed stuff, it literally is so disciplined, and I was like, I want a day where I just like play around basically, and so I suggested, I was like, could I do something like 36 kilo single arm swings and then some 24 kilo snatches or something, just to help my grip after what happened in March when I failed the second attempt or first attempt to get it back again. And he was like, yeah, I really like that idea, go for it. So that's kind of given me a day where I'm doing things that help it, but they're not in a timed manner. Most of the time, they're not in a timed manner. I just play around with it. And I've not done it for a few weeks because it's been really hot here, and I was thinking, I don't really want to do single arm swings, like heavy ones in this heat. My grip wasn't feeling it. And then it was a bit cooler yesterday, so I was like, I'm just going to go and see. And I started playing with the 36, and I was like, this seems light, like, and I was like, I'll just try that. I'd never tried the 40 before. I was like, I'm just gonna try it and see. And I was like, wow, like I did not expect it to feel or look easy. It wasn't easy. My grip, I was like, but,
yeah, well, it looked very strong, very, very strong.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So the record that you are now training for is the same record then that you had and somebody else got the record.
Yeah,
is that, okay.
I don't know the person. She is apparently someone in the UK, not in Strongfirst, so I think background's possibly CrossFit,
Okay.
and she's in the south of the UK, and I think hers is, I think it's just over 30,000 kilos, so she beat by a decent amount, very strong, and so I was like, right, I'm going to go for 32,000 kilos. So Pavel adapted a Strong Endurance protocol for me, and I've been pretty much working on that since September last year. Went for it in March, and my hands tore very, very badly. So there's obviously, we don't 100% know why, because I've sort of done very, very similar. I got 828 swings in an hour with the 32 in March, and in training, just before, maybe 2 weeks before I went for the attempt, I'd done 800, no problem. So it was only like 28 extra swings, and my hands tore very badly. So Pavel and Brett Jones has also been very heavily involved in it and stuff. I had to use a competition bell, and I'd not used the competition bell much in training because all of my training had been with heavier weights. So I only had the 32 as a competition bell. So they're saying possibly because obviously the handles are, my hands, I've got small hands, but even fitting my hands into a competition bell, it rubs on the little finger. What happened was this kind of tore down here. So on my left hand, I was having to put a lot of pressure through like my index finger and middle finger. So it wasn't actually my palm, it was my fingers that ripped really badly. And I carried on, so I was just like, I had an audience of everyone, my friends came to watch it, my people I teach, it was amazing. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for a personal best and just see. So they didn't know in the room that I'd failed it until at the end I was like, I ain't got it. I just carry on, and I was like, I want to show myself what mental grit looks like, because I was in agony, and I was just like, I'm gonna have time off after this anyway. And so yeah, so I got 828 then. The other thing was the gym, that I rent space at a gym, and just before, this was maybe a week before the UK went into lockdown, and 2 weeks before that, we'd had to have a policy of every time we went in and out of the gym, alcohol gel. I never use alcohol gel ever, so I wash my hands with soap and water, but the gym's policy, rightly so, was every time we went to leave the gym, alcohol gel. And I've got a little studio next door where I teach, and I must be in and out of that main door 20 times a day, and so that was me constantly washing my hands, alcohol gel, and they said possibly that could have made them very soft, and that is why they tore. We don't know, and it doesn't really matter because I'm still working towards it.
Oh yeah.
I've learned my grip didn't. I like when I've watched the video back, like my hips, I haven't lost power there, so it wasn't like I was over gripping for that reason. But I just knew it didn't feel right, and so I'm just at the minute. I enjoy it. It's been good actually, because in lockdown it's given me a massive focus of swings. I've got nothing else to do, so I can swing for as long as I like.
Yeah. Are you still in lockdown in the United Kingdom?
So we have just, only yesterday or the day before, they told us gyms can reopen on the 25th of July. But we're pretty much, it was only last weekend that clubs reopened, and then we had a bit more freedom. So we have been pretty much 4 months in full lockdown. At the start of it, I live on my own, so I was like, oh my God, this is going to be awful. Like, I was really like, oh, this is not like, but it actually has been really good. So I've had to like turn my dining room into like a studio. I basically have my laptop there, teach here all day online, and I've been really lucky just because I gave out all of my kettlebells and said, take them to the people I teach, and most of them have continued online, so I've been really lucky with that. But yeah, it's actually, I think, been a blessing that that I am on my own, because I've had to sort of take over up here, and it's given me a bit of space as well, sort of at the end of the day, just to relax. And
yeah. I think a lot of us are sort of getting used to maybe not having quite such busy lives and reevaluating our quality of life and moving forward. And like, I know for me, I don't train full time. I work in my family's business, and I've kind of, and I'm just now opening up training again. And it's like, I'm being very selective. I like having that extra downtime.
Yeah. Have you do you like do it in a gym, or do you do it online?
I have a studio gym at my house, and I do I just have people come, and I did some classes, but now it's just strictly one-on-one and program writing.
Are you on lockdown still, or is it still?
No, we were pretty well. My family's business is a car dealership, and we were considered essential, so we never had to close. We just made some immediate changes, and now we actually, in my state, in Oregon, we have, compared to the rest of the United States, a fairly low caseload, but they have been picking back up. So we have mandatory masks, and they've kind of just made things a little bit more strict in the last week. So we'll see. Yeah. We might have to go back. Hopefully not, but
yeah, we just also the gym's on the 25th, but then I'm currently just working out how that's going to work. And I've got people I teach who don't want to go back in the gym, and they're happy to either come outside here. So we've been able to train people outside for the last maybe month or so, but still not inside. And luckily it's summer, so we have had some really nice weather. But yeah, I'm just trying to work in more the classes. I only ever teach to like a group of 6. And that's been fine online and still continue this with like a group of 6. But it's the room that I'm teaching at the gym is definitely not going to fit then. So we're sort of trying to work out, like, do I have a screen and teach to like half of them on the screen for every other week? You know, like, and everyone seems really chilled. I'm just kind of working it out and going with it, and just trying to have a plan there so that they feel safe.
Well, and I think that's really key. And the trainers you see that are carrying on and making it are the ones that are just on the floor, are like making it work, because people still want to train. And you know, Amanda, she did the same. She just immediately switched to online.
I was like, that's it. I took a week off actually. So I was doing the record attempt and then taking a week off on holiday. And I was just going to stay with a friend up in Skye, and I ended up not, because I suddenly was really, it was kind of getting like in the UK where you shouldn't really travel now, and so I was like, do you know what, I'm just going to announce on that Monday. So I did the record on this Sunday, announced on the Monday that when I go back to the gym in a week's time, I knew that they'd be shut. They shut on that Friday, and I already announced on the Monday. I said, when I go back to the gym, which we won't be doing, I will be online for the foreseeable. And everyone's like, oh my God, what? And I was like, by the time we go back, by the time I'm off my holiday, the gym will not be open, I'm telling you that. And everyone was really chill. But because I got there early and just had a plan, I think everyone was like, okay, like, and I think you just need that sort of like structure, like, this is what we're doing, and you either carry on here or, well, I'll see you back in the gym at some point. But I think when people suddenly realised we were in this for like the long haul, everyone's like, right, okay, let's get on it, let's sort it out. But yeah, I think a lot of us, we don't know, but I think a lot of us got it at my record attempt. So I was not, I didn't have the flu, I didn't have anything like that, but I fully lost my taste and smell for about 12 days. And I had lots of clients message me saying, just so you know, I've got flu-like symptoms and I've not got taste and smell, and you might want to let people. So I told everyone who was at the attempt, like, just be careful. And we were in lockdown anyway at that point. But because I think Claire mentioned on here that she had it, and possibly what we all think from my record attempt, because there were about 60 of us in the room, and I didn't really notice at the time. It was when I looked back at pitch that I was like, whoa, like loads of people there. I just kind of zoned out. But I mean, it was, I'm 29, so maybe it was just because I'm younger, and I was at probably peak fitness at that point, and I fully expected to get a bit ill after it, you know, obviously peak, and I was thinking I'll probably get a bit sore throat and a bit of downtime. And I was kind of teaching to a screen, and I was thinking, am I just exhausted because I'm teaching to a screen? But I was physically like having to sit down on my sofa between sessions, and I was a bit like walking the stairs here and a bit like out of breath, and that's all I can just. I didn't have a cough, I didn't have flu, but it might have been nothing related, but it was just the taste and smell thing was very strange. like there was zero. And I just rested then for about 3 weeks. I taught my classes and did very light weights. I didn't pick up a heavy bell because I thought, you know what, if my immune system's down here, the last thing I'm going to do is pick up a bell that's 44 kilos. And so I just literally had a few weeks off. It was very hard going back to it. So I felt like I had to go way back, probably like 6 months back. But because I took that rest, I think it came quick. So I suddenly, 6 weeks after that, was way better than I had been before the attempt. So I was glad I took the rest, which I think is something that people don't realise how important it is.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm not going to push through it or anything like that. I'm just going to rest.
It's so important for any illness to take some time off. And I just grew up thinking you had to push, and it took me till about 40 to realize that just does not work. You have to heal. The body has to heal before you can get back. Otherwise, a simple cold can turn into a 4-week, you could be down 4 weeks if you don't.
Yeah, really, it's totally. I've always said I'm very lucky that early on in my career, I found Strongfirst, because that has taught me that, like, I was definitely the same, like when I was like, I've trained for about 9 years, and maybe seriously for probably 7, like kettlebells I have done for 9, but probably actually started following proper kettlebell programs for about 7. And yeah, I just used to be like, yeah, let's get really sweaty and hurt our hands and rip our hands up and bruise everything. And that was literally how I used to train. And like, I'd go and just do hours of cardio and stuff like that. And be ill all the time. And then when I actually got into Strongfirst because I went to do the TSC, and at the time, and even there was some instructors, I wasn't an instructor at the time, and they were like, you're really good at like ballistics. Like it was hilarious. I used to get like first place in the snatches, but my pull-ups and my deadlift were like, I think my deadlift was like 100 kilos and my pull-up was like 2, and then my snatches were like 150 to 16. So I used to never be anywhere near the top. I used to be kind of like maybe 40th place or something, but I just used to like it as like a bit of a, like, just something to train for. And then one of the instructors was like, right, you're a coach and you're really good at kettlebells, why don't you go and do your SFG? And I was like, why not? So I messaged Claire, I didn't know her at the time, and I just knew she was the country leader, and I said, can I come down and have a coaching session with you before the SFG? And then pretty much went from there. But I'm thankful that I found that when I was like 25, because then it gave me, and only 2 years into my training career, it gave me lots of like things to think about, and actually suddenly realize, less is definitely better. Less is more.
Oh yeah. For sure. I think a lot of people that stumbled upon Strongfirst found it by doing other things that were probably beating us up.
Yeah, you sort of learn quite quickly, and then and I remember thinking for ages, I was like, this doesn't seem right. Like, I'm not doing it. I don't feel like I've done anything. And then I was suddenly like, but I feel amazing, and my strength is going up. So I was like, okay, like, go for it. And then carried on, and now that's fully how I teach everyone who trains with me, and they're like, it's so good. It's like different to anything I've ever done, and it's like good, and then that keeps them focused and not injured and everything else.
It definitely is. And it's where I live. We have I live in the state of Oregon, very, very popular for running. A lot of people, especially in my community, long distance running, which is an amazing sport. I did it myself for a long time. But that's a challenge though, to get people to say, or to realize that maybe if you cut back on your running to 3 days a week and did some strength training 2 or 3 days a week, you would improve. And my husband's a great testament. He ran a marathon. He only trained 3 days a week, and it was like a 3-hour and 40-minute marathon. He just cruised it, and he didn't even consider himself a runner. So
a lot of people who train with me are runners. The area that I live in is very like hilly, and there's a lot of fell runners and cyclists and stuff. And I actually, my background is strength and conditioning, like rehab, like injury rehab. And so I started to get people through, because runners who were like, oh, everything's hurting. I was like, when did you last strength train? And they don't. And then so I started running classes for, like, I was like, right, let's do strength and conditioning for runners. just because that's huge over here. And then they were suddenly like, oh my God, like by doing swings, my run's quicker and like my hips aren't hurting and I don't have backache. And I was like, yay. So, and that's the same now. They've scaled it back and like, I'm running like faster and they're older and stuff. And most of them are like super fit in the 50s and stuff and running like stupid distances but feeling good about it.
Yeah.
But no, I'm people think with my swings that I mean, they're long sessions, but it's 3 days a week. It's
okay.
not like I do train 5 days, but my swings are actually only 3 days. So I don't need much. I don't need much more than that, otherwise it tips me over the edge. And I know for me it's too much.
That was the sweet spot for me when I did Sinister, was 3 days a week.
Yeah, I think like, and I mean, I obviously tolerate volume well, just because my sessions can be like up to 90 minutes, but it doesn't mean like I'm swinging obviously straight for 90 minutes. I might be doing, it depends what weight I'm using, but it's 2 of them a week are every 30 seconds. And one of them tends to be like on the minute. And then my play day is sometimes swing, sometimes there isn't a play day. I'll always do every day, like I'll do get-ups and bodyweight stuff, sort of 5 days. And I'll do that kind of, I call it like my warm-up, but it isn't my warm-up, but it's sort of like I'll class that maybe as strength stuff before my swings. But then yeah, 2 days where I'll only do like get-ups and bodyweight and like bits of squats and stuff, just with kettlebells. And then the other 3 days are the endurance stuff. And sometimes sometimes I'll block out 2 hours in my diary and be like, right, that's what I'm doing. And it doesn't happen. I might have had a bad night's sleep and actually the session ends up being half an hour and I have to stop it because I'm like, right, stop signals, I need to walk away from the bell. That took a lot of time to get into because I was like, no, it's fine. Again, I'll push through it. And then you realise that you just, down the line, whether that's later in the week or the week after, it doesn't pay off. So that's probably the biggest thing I've learned from doing the longer sessions is listen to the tiny little signals that your body gives you.
I learned that the hard way last year doing some 2-hand swings. I think I was just doing like, I don't know, once a week I would do 5 to 7 on the minute for 20 minutes. Not terribly hard, but I was doing other things as well. And I just kind of was starting to lose power on one session. And I ended up tweaking my hip flexor on my left hip. Well, I was training for the bodyweight cert, and that left hip really, you need it for the right hand one arm push out. Yeah. I had to completely change my training and test with my left side. It was like, I'm not going to get it because I just could not generate and I got it. I was fine. I had passed it before, so I kind of knew what I needed to do, but it set me back. It was about a year before it fully healed.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't limping around. I could still do things, but I could feel it for about a year.
I'm aware of it. I'm just our bodyweight one in the UK was supposed to be June, I think. And it's now next March, but I was like, that's actually quite good because I was like, I'm nowhere near yet. It's a push-up, so I can do the pistol and the pull-up, but the push-up I'm really, really working on. And at the minute, I'm literally just working to get my push-ups better, like more reps just at the minute. So I was like, I can do like 5 okay push-ups, but I was like, I really want that number to like 10 before I start messing around with like just get it. But I like it because it is a massive challenge. And for me anyway, bodyweight's always been maybe because I don't train it much, but that's always been the one thing that I've like needed to put more work into, definitely. And I think it's the one, people sort of think about the bodyweight when I was like, oh, it's bodyweight, but actually when you speak to people, that's probably the one that people are most nervous about testing for, or the one that like takes the most work, I think, in terms of, because it's the tension, isn't it? Like learning how to get the tension.
But as a coach, and the people that I have trained who are mostly an older population, by far I've had the most carry over into my own coaching on the drills, of the skills, the things that I teach my students. So
I bet I can't wait to do it. I've never done the bodyweight one before, so
it's fun. It's like playing in the park for 2 days. It's really fun.
I love so this is what I've enjoyed sort of because of lockdown, like you said before about having more time. I've sort of just been greasing the groove, but then just having the time to play, like literally, like okay, where does that feels weird, what feels good about it, and just getting my pull-ups better. So I've always like, I can do pull-ups, but like say for the TSC I was doing like 2 or 3, and I've just been like working on just greasing the groove with that. And in the gym I can, but I kind of am rushing around all the time in the gym, and I'm like, I don't really think I'm just going to go and do a pull-up. And whereas at home I'm literally like, right, my pull-up bar's like just above my office, so every time I walk past it I'm like, right, pull up, and because you're not like manically running around between sessions. So it's been actually really nice, but I found that my session times have changed, you know, sort of like I'd normally do very early morning and quite late at night and have a gap in the day and stuff, but that isn't the case anymore. I pretty much feel like I'm working like 9 to 5, but I suppose because everyone's hours have changed and people are working at home. But yeah, it's giving me definitely more time to focus
I think the world and the work day for many people is going to change.
Yeah. It's definitely something I've got, because I mean most mornings I'm up at like 5 and I'm in the gym for 6 and stuff, and there's a couple of people at the moment training at 6:30 in the morning online, but normally that would be 5 days a week that I'd be up at that time, and then I'd sort of be in the gym till 9 p.m. But I sort of online I was like, do I need to be putting on those later classes because people aren't commuting and it's only for the commuters? And so my latest online is sort of finishes at 7:30, and that's it. And now I'm like, oh, I've got loads of time in the evening. But I think that's another reason in lockdown I've been able to focus more, but I think because I'm probably getting a bit more sleep, and I think that's probably why my swings feel much better at the minute as well. I really notice it, particularly in swings, if I've slept badly. I'll sort of wake up, and the other week I was saying on one of my Instagram posts that my resting heart rate is usually sort of 42, like when I wake up in the morning, 42, 45, and a couple of weeks ago it was 60 something. I woke up and I was like, what? And I just slept really badly for a couple of weeks, and I kind of got like, I just knew my sessions would be much shorter. But I wear a heart rate monitor in sessions, but I never look at it till afterwards. So it wouldn't be one of the things that would make me stop if I saw my heart rate go up. But I kind of, when I get one of the stop signals, so I've sort of been like, everything feels a bit weird, and like I just felt like I was losing power. Then when I look at my phone after to check the heart rate stuff, my heart rate was up at 92%. So I think your body will show you what, like, so I'm like, I don't need to look at that screen for 90 minutes because your body will literally stop you if you know how to listen to it. And so I just sort of had a lighter week of sort of half an hour, which for me, I know half an hour of swings, 40 minutes of swings is still quite a long time, but for me that is like half of what I would do. But I was like, do you know what, it's just one of those weeks, and then I started to sleep better and ended up eating a bit more because I realised I've sort of lost a couple of kilos, which I hadn't wanted to. And then this week, this got just gone, is when I did the stronger sessions and stuff. So I think it does just go up and down, but if you know how to listen to it, it will, your body, it will, you'll make really good progress.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your background. Is training what you studied? Is this what you always wanted to do, or just?
So I was about 19, 20, and I at the time had really, really bad anxiety, and like health, and it was a time when my dad, that's when he got really ill. He'd always been ill, like he'd always had MS since I can remember, but that's when his MS started to get worse. So then I suddenly, obviously when you're 18, 19 and you like sort of everything's changing anyway, and I was like, oh my God, like I might get MS. And it isn't a hereditary thing, but obviously I was being totally irrational and stuff. And I mean, I think I have double the chance you have of getting MS, but your chance is something like 1% and mine is 2%. So it's still, it's not linked to like certain things to, like it's not hereditary. But at the time I was like, I'm gonna, like this is really bad, I'm gonna get MS. And I suddenly started getting a lot of symptoms of like, it was stress when I look back at it, but all of the symptoms of stress were also symptoms of MS. So I was starting to get like tingling, like forearms, and like blurred vision because I wasn't sleeping properly, headaches because I was stressed, and all of those, I was like, that's it, I've got MS. And it just kept like, so I ended up sort of, I went to see a doctor at the time. I was like, and I knew it deep down, I knew it was anxiety, but I couldn't get myself out of that thought pattern. And the doctor was like, right, we're going to like refer you to CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, and like let's just see how that works. So I had 6 sessions, and luckily, like gelled really well with the person who was talking me through it, and she kind of taught me to like retrain my brain. Like, if you've got a headache, you're 19, you've probably just got a headache. Like, it's probably nothing. And the doctor at the time, and I'm so thankful to him, was like, why don't you try strength training? And that isn't something that a lot of doctors over here prescribe, and still now isn't. And this was 10 years ago. And I was like, so I started going to the gym and stuff. And I just, at the time, like I say, it was sort of cardio, like it was nothing, but it made me feel a lot better. And I wasn't really doing much with weights. And then just started going with friends, and one of them was into kettlebells, and was like, why don't you start doing this? So that's how literally how I got into it. And then from that moment forward, I literally haven't looked back. I've never had an issue with anxiety. I've never had, like, people always say, oh, once you've got depression or anxiety, you're just always living with it. And I totally disagree with that. I think once you know how to manage it, and I never ever has it come back to me, and that's 10 years ago. And I just totally believe strong body, strong mind. Like, if you stuff that you can control, and then the things that you can't control, you just, like, so my dad's still very poorly, I can't control that, but I can manage it. So when he goes in and out of hospital constantly, I'm like, the one thing I can keep constant is strength training, and that's what I do. And that, like, for me, that's totally fixed me. I don't know if fixed is the right word, but that's how
I believe that. I believe that to be absolutely true, and have experienced, something similar. And it really, I don't know what it is about, and it's not just exercise to be exercising, but strength training specifically is like a very powerful anti-anxiety medicine.
Yeah, and a lot of, again, then I will openly, like I just have, I'll openly talk about it, and I think it needs to be talked about, because there's stuff that I've had since then, sort of men come to me, and I feel for men it's probably even harder in terms of talking about the feelings and stuff. And I'm not saying I'm a counsellor at all, but like, those sort of, I've got kind of known in this area of people like, oh, Megan's really good and just totally relates body and mind, and like together. That's true. I say that in all sessions. I'm like, and people come to me and like, I feel so much better just from, and it's not, I mean, yeah, the body feels better, but the mind feels better. And yeah, I've had a lot of men come to me for that reason, just because they're like totally like, I don't know what else to do. And the healthcare system over here isn't great in terms of mental health wise. A lot of cuts and stuff. I don't think anywhere really it is great, but lots of cuts and stuff's not available. And just like teaching people that be strong in your body, really, it gives you just a focus. I think there's something, there's just something about it that really helps.
And don't you think too, the way, of course, we're both part of the Strongfirst system, and there's many great systems out there, but the Strongfirst system and that focus on strength is a skill, and we do have to practice these skills. It's not just, here's your workout, go to the gym, whip out some reps. You got to think about what you're doing. And I video almost a portion. And I critique myself. I have others coach me. And I think part of it is because we approach it as a skill and we're practicing, that's what helps the brain.
Yeah. So I watch all of mine, and I'm obviously not going to film 90 minutes of swings, but I tend to sort of do the first minute somewhere in between, and then the last minute is all the last few minutes just to check. But that post that you talked about, the 40 kilo single arm, I was literally writing. I wrote in the post, I'm always trying to find out what position feels good, where do my hips feel good, what setup made me really powerful. And people always say to me, oh my God, you've got the most perfect swing, like best swings ever. And I'm like, I don't see, I mean, yeah, I'm good at swings, but I don't see it like that. I'm trying to get those, every time I do it, I'm trying to get that better. And when people say to me, how do you do those 90 minutes? I'm like, because I view it as a single rep. I don't think in my head, I'm about to do 90 minutes of swings. I'm like, I'm about to swing until it starts to not feel good, which possibly is 90 minutes. It's possibly, my shortest session was 7 minutes. Because I remember once 7 minutes in, my forearms were just burning. And I was like, right, that's a stop signal, I'm out of here. And it's really hard ego-wise when you're used to doing 90 minutes to like put the bell down at 7. But then later that week, I had one of the longest sessions I'd ever had and stuff. So, but I think because you view it like that, like every single thing, like sometimes I'm like, right, my weight shifted forward on that rep, so very quickly I'm about to shift my weight back, and then if I can't shift it back and it happens 3 or 4 times in a row, I'm losing power, so that needs to stop. But that whole strength of the skill is, yeah, it totally, that is the focus of it. And I get some people I teach, I was having this conversation this morning in one of the classes, and they were sort of like, but like, we're never going to be that strong and blah, blah, and like joking around. And I was like, but I started off 9 years ago swinging very badly, 8 kilos. And I was like, and I just basically carried on. I was like, I got coached, and I was like, where they are now in terms of how long they've been training. I was like, you're way ahead of where I was at your point in like 2 years into your journey. When I was 2 years into mine, I was ripping my hands. I was like, I was like, you're way ahead. I wasn't as strong as them. And I'm like, you just need to carry on, and you just keep getting stronger and keep just literally practicing it. It's just practice.
Practice and practice, and then even the strength, the grinds, like our presses and our squats, same thing. They approach them as a practice, as opposed to, oh, I've got 60 squats I got to do today. It's like, no, every single rep is a single rep, you know.
Do that. Just think of it, and if you lose power, or if something doesn't feel right, stop. And then go back to it, and you won't have lost strength, you'll have gained it, is what I always say. I'm like, by you stopping a session early or short or whatever, that's a skill in itself. Just knowing when to do it. But the presses, so the grind wise, I do sort of deadlifts, but at the minute I'm not, but I would normally I do have them in my program, but just so I keep some sort of hip grind in my movements. But at the minute, because the gyms are shut, I've not done any of that. But I kind of just do very light sumo if I'm doing some sort of accessories to the swing. I just think,
but if you're doing get ups though, and that's a very powerful strength exercise.
I love get ups. Like literally, if I had to do one thing forever, it would be that. But all I really think of swings and get ups, like that's pretty much. I throw some goblet squats in my warm up, and then, like I said, the body weight stuff. But I feel at this moment in time actually better than I ever have, and definitely the best condition I've ever felt. But when people actually look at what I'm doing, they're like, you don't do loads. I'm like, I know. Like, the swings are long sessions. I do lots of swings, but like the rest of it, like I don't do heavy get-ups, but I like my get-ups tend to be sort of around 20, 24. But the other day I was like, I'm just going to try 28. I haven't tried it for ages, and I haven't done any of them for ages. But just because you get so used to practicing that 20 or the 24, and where does your arm feel good, and or whatever, and then going from there and just patterning in the movement.
It's amazing. I have to say, I'm gonna comment on your view, and you have a beautiful view there.
I love it here. It's we're right in the middle of like the Pennines, which are just a big hilly like range of not mountains but hills in the middle of like the north of England, and it's really well known for sort of like people who have beauty spots. But it's like a little quirky town. It's sort of maybe 25 minutes from Manchester. So it's a really good area to be, because you can be sort of in the middle of nowhere in like 10 minutes in a field where no one's around. You can also be in the middle of Manchester in 25 minutes. But that's what keeps me going when I'm swinging. I just look at that view and I'm like, I really do view my swings as like meditation. So like I'll go out there and I'll just totally get in the zone and look at the view.
Do you have any recovery strategies like breathing or ice baths or meditation?
I used to do quite a lot of ice, like swimming and stuff, outdoor swimming with my ex-boyfriend. He still does it, but I used to need him to like force me to do it, because I'd be like, I do really enjoy it though. Every like New Year's Day we go and jump in a big freezing cold reservoir near us, and if you're hungover, it's great, it gets rid of the hangover. But I do lots and lots of breathing. That's one of my main things I do. So I use a lot of the second wind breathing techniques on my recovery days, on my rest days. I also use bits and pieces from Pavel Strong Resilient. I did that, was it last year? I think last February, and I really like his Get Up series. That really, really helps me. But the breathing, so I could literally sit here for half an hour and breathe, and that really, really, I find really helpful. Some of them I'll do in my warm up for my swings. So I do sort of a lot of like the forced exhales and stuff, and I find that really, really helps me when I'm sort of trying to breathe out there and stay calm and nasal breathe. Doing that sort of breathing has really helped and increased what I can do in between swing sets. So there's that, and then lots, very, very basic, but lots of crocodile breathing. And but again, for relaxation. But the second wind stuff, I really enjoyed that course. And I've not really used much.
I'm sorry, there is going to be, I'm signed up to take the second wind online version. It's like
Second Wind
Light.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's August 8th. I mean, if anybody's listening and they're interested in that, Pavel and Fabio are teaming up and teaching Second Wind Light. Pavel's doing that on Saturday, and then Fabio is introducing his Built Strong program on Sunday, and it's a Zoom. It's online, so I think you can still register for it, and it's August 8th and 9th.
I think it's really the stuff that's online at the minute. I was speaking to Sven yesterday, and he did Plan Strong online, and I was thinking those sorts of things will transfer very easily online, won't they? Because I think actually doing Plan Strong when I did it, it would be quite useful doing it again online. That's definitely what I want to do again, because when I did Plan Strong, I was like, what? But possibly. Just sat there. I really enjoyed it, and it made sense in the end. Fabio taught it, but because I haven't used it, I need to just sit and use it. But no, I really enjoyed that. But the second wind, have you done it? Did you do?
No, this will be my first, so I'm excited.
I did it in Budapest 2 years ago, but at the time again I'd done my record, I wasn't really training for much, and I was sort of like, oh, there's some cool ideas. But then when I got back to doing the swing training, it was actually Pavel Machek. He was like, why don't you try throwing some of those in, some of the second wind like breathing drills and stuff. So I read back through my manual, and there's some really good stuff in there. Really, really good.
It just seems to be there's a lot of different practitioners coming out and talking about breathing. I mean, there's Oxygen Advantage, there's Wim Hof. I mean, this is real. So, and I think you just have to find what works. And so the ice bath,
that was how I got into it, because I was following Wim Hof on Instagram, and I still do cold showers, so I do that as recovery. And I'll sort of like walk a lot and stuff like that. But Wim Hof, I used to follow his breathing, and the sort of forced exhales kind of similar in a way to that. But I really enjoy it, and I used to like be so bad at breathing. Like I couldn't breathe. Like when I first went to see Claire, and she was like watching me breathe, I was literally like up here, and I used to get like neck ache and stuff, and then actually taught me to breathe, and I'm like. And everything else just went through the roof. And I think, like, strength-wise, and I think until that happens, you don't realise how important it is. It's like breathing, like, what do you mean, like breathing? But like,
it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm actually currently doing Jeff Newpert's sore knee solution, and I don't have sore knees, but I just wanted to try it. And then I wasn't going to finish the program. It's 3 phases. Because really what I have is a bad big toe that I injured. And he said, no, just finish it. When you get to the 3rd phase, there's some toe mobilization. And he's absolutely right. And all the breathing, the diaphragmatic breathing while you're in these positions that mobilize the toe, I have no pain in my toe after I do it.
That's so cool.
Crazy. I know.
I love stuff like that. Like I could spend ages doing bits and pieces like mobility. Like when I laugh about my sessions, sometimes the swings are an hour and a half. But quite often I'll spend like an hour at least just kind of warming up, but half the time it is literally breathing and playing around with mobility. And get up, so But no, I love stuff like that, and you really feel, especially when you do mobility, when you're using your breath, how much of a difference it makes. Massive.
I was playing around. I try to walk 3 to 4 10-minute walks a day. It just works in my schedule better than one long walk. And my dogs appreciate it. But I was playing around with box breathing while I'm walking, and that is like a game changer too. Just doing different counts of box breathing can make a easy flat walk a lot more challenging.
Yeah,
but more meditative.
It's so good. So I do a lot of the, obviously for the swings, like nasal breathing and stuff. And when I'm on walks, I consciously try to, like, all right, I'm not opening my mouth. And like, one of my neighbours was laughing at me because I was literally walking around with like tape on my mouth once. And like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I was like, I'm practicing breathing. And I was like, walking down the street, and they're like, there's something wrong with you. And they all think there is something wrong with me. Half the time I'll like crawl up and down the street and stuff. And because I'm like, there's not really enough room on there. And they're like, what is Megan doing again? And like, I'm like, hi everyone. I'll like rack carries and stuff up and down the street. But I quite consciously on walks try to practice nasal breathing, and around here, like I said, the hills, like they are literally like that. So you suddenly realise halfway up a hill and how much you really have to like get deep into the diaphragm, but it really helps the swings, because obviously it's very similar in terms of when I'm trying to nasal breathe in between sets, by doing it on walks really helps.
Yeah.
But so yeah, maybe not tape, but
well, and in the end, all of these things are gonna, I think in the end, all of these training practices will promote our longevity, hopefully. Hopefully they'll help us live strong, happy lives.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's been good in terms of like the world of training, because of the situation at the minute. Like I've definitely had people contact me saying I need to be strong and healthy because of what's going on in the world, and it's like, I think obviously people always know that, but I think when something so real like this moment in time and something like COVID comes along, people have really realised actually I'm going to be much better if I can breathe, if I can be strong, if I can get out on walks and stuff. And so I got, and also in lockdown, I got a lot of people messaging me about strong endurance sort of runners, just more from Instagram. I've just got the following on there, and they were like, I'm stuck in my house, I've got a kettlebell, I can't run, what can I do? And so that's been, in a way, been good. People have started to, especially kettlebells, started to realise how we already knew how useful they were, but like I think other people are suddenly thinking, actually this is something really good, portable, I can pretty much train everything with it. And stay healthy and strong.
Yeah, 2 kettlebells, pull-up bar, that's all you need.
All you need.
Yeah.
I mean, I think at this moment I was always sort of planning on opening the studio, and right now I'm actually quite glad I haven't, because I'm sort of like, well, at the minute, like me just giving my bells out and everything's so uncertain, like that's working at the minute. And for now, I think that a lot of people are sort of saying, I'm not sure if I want to even go back in the gym at the minute and stuff. So I'm like, well, if we can train kettlebells, then we're good.
Well, hey, we are closing in on an hour, and we like to finish with something kind of fun. We asked, and you don't have to do this rapid fire. It's not like, do it really fast. But we just have some questions. It's kind of fun, personal questions. So what is your favorite color?
Color? Blue.
Color.
This.
Okay. Your favorite meal?
Pizza. Definitely pizza. Yeah. I do like going out for a big steak and stuff, but if I had to choose one thing forever, it would definitely be pizza.
Yeah.
There's a really nice place near me, and I'm gagging for them to reopen, so I'm like, I need pizza.
Oh, they're not doing, there's no takeout?
No, they haven't been doing it, and I'm like, literally, there's other places, but I'm like, your pizza and the coffee as well, but their pizza is the best. They're from Italy, and I'm like, I need that pizza in my life.
Yeah. Pizza's good. I got my husband a pizza oven for Father's Day. So we've been practicing. So
like the wood-fired pizza.
Well, this is gas, but you put it outside and it heats it up to about 500 degrees, and so yeah, they're good. I mean, it's too good. You have to kind of watch what you're eating all week, so you get that pizza at the end of the week.
Yeah, be good for the week for the pizza. I'd make a sacrifice.
Yeah. Okay, so the last book you read, and I count audiobook, so either that you read or listened to.
You're going to laugh at this, but I actually re-listened to Simple and Sinister. So I haven't actually listened to the version 2 of it. So the last one that I listened to was that. So which is probably quite a boring answer for you. Like swings.
Okay, your favorite band or style of music?
So I really like sort of 90s like dance, I guess, but like harder though. So like you'll hear me like on my swings, I always listen to the Prodigy. So stuff, the Prodigy is probably my #1 favourite band. I saw them a couple of years ago, and it was the best gig I've ever been to. But I was totally sober as well. I was driving, and everyone else. I mean, it was hilarious watching everyone else. But yeah, it was. I was at a Prodigy gig sober, which everyone was like, "What's wrong with you?" But
no, that's cool.
I had a really good time dancing.
That's awesome. The last movie you watched?
I watched P.S. I Love You, but I'm quite soppy with films, and I was crying my eyes out, and I fancy Gerard Butler as well. So, so yeah, I was watching that only a couple of nights ago.
All right. Something you procrastinate?
Admin.
Admin.
All the time. Like, I mean, once I sit and do it, it's great, it's fine. But like, that's the one thing where I'm like, I really have to. I put it off as long as possible, and I know that if I didn't do that, I'd feel much better.
Yeah, well, you got to get paid though, so.
That's true.
Your favorite animal?
Animal. My favorite animal. I quite like turtles. I used to have a little tortoise, like a pet tortoise. And I loved that. And then one of my sisters got it when we moved house. So. Okay. But yeah, I quite like them. Yeah.
Turtles.
And they're cute.
You need to go to Hawaii someday and you can swim with the big ones.
Oh, I'd love that. I did it once in Australia a few years ago at the Barrier Reef, and I was more scared of sharks, but actually then we were suddenly swimming along and there was this massive turtle, and I was like, so gorgeous.
It's kind of crazy the first time, but then it's like, wow, these creatures are amazing for sure.
Quiet.
Yeah. A hobby or interest that people listening may not know about?
What do I have a hobby? I don't know. What do I like doing that I've not already mentioned? Eating chocolate, gin. I love gin tasting. I was just talking to another Strongfirst instructor, actually, Aris, who's been helping me with some of my body weight stuff. And he messaged me saying, he was like, I just realised you love gin. One of my clients bought me some, which I put on my Facebook page, and I was like, gin tasting. So I've just sent him a massive list of ones that he can possibly buy in the States. I love gin tasting.
That's interesting. Amanda and I traveled to Ireland together 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and we noticed in that that gin was a big thing, like going like gin tasting or gin parties, and gin. I mean, people drink gin here, but it's not. I would say that bourbon and whiskey is probably a little more of a thing, but interesting.
It's it kind of started here maybe 5 years ago. Everyone was like gin festivals and stuff, and then Australia a couple of years ago, and me and my friend went there and did stuff there, gin tasting day, and I've done a few here. But yeah, Aris messaged me and he's basically said, oh, these ones, and it was ones here that we'd be like, oh, no, we're not drinking those ones, and he was like, send me a good one then. So I just sent him this list of stuff, and but yeah, no, there's so many garnishes and stuff, and what you're supposed to put with them, but no, I really enjoy gin tasting, and it's we just have them all the time here. It suddenly went, it used to be whiskey here, and then it suddenly just went, now there's more gin distilleries in Scotland than whiskey, which is true. Wow. You think Scotland has whiskey, but actually there's loads of gin places. So yeah, but I'm saying probably in Ireland.
Yeah, that's interesting. What is your favorite vacation place?
So I went to Costa Rica last year with my sister, and I absolutely loved that, partly because I've never been over to that side of the world at all. So I've always travelled sort of towards Australia. I've got quite a lot of friends, and I've been there a few times, and I love it there, but it was so different in Costa Rica, so I really liked that. And we're very lucky in Europe in terms of we can fly to a lot of the places. So probably my favorite European one is Italy. I love going to Italy for pizza.
Yeah,
but
for pizza.
purely for pizza. I was in Budapest for second wind as well, and by far, if anyone listening wants to go a city break, Budapest is the best city I've ever been to. I loved it.
We keep hearing that, and definitely is on the list for sure.
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
need to go. So if there's a course there, go and then spend the week there. That's what I did.
Yeah,
and it was so fun. They have really good food. Really good food.
Yes. Last one. Something people may get wrong about you.
What do people get wrong about me? Well, I don't know. I was about to say, sometimes people think I'm shy, but they don't. They used to think I was shy. I'm not anymore. Teaching kind of got me out of that. I don't know. I'm petrified of spiders, so people see this really, really strong, like, woman. I'm actually petrified of spiders, so I'm not afraid. But I'm trying to think of something else now. I don't actually know.
Well, that was good though. Well, hey, Megan, this was really fun. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, that was really nice to talk to you. You're doing great things, and I'm watching you. Gonna watch you break that record when you're ready, and hopefully cross paths with you in person.
Yes, I hope. In Budapest.
Budapest. I think we need to put it on the calendar. Get that planned.
Drinking pizza in Budapest.
Yes. Or if you come out to the United States and make it all the way to the West Coast, come out here.
So
I'll make you a pizza.
I was supposed to be coming over there in June, just gone, but obviously not right now because of the situation. But yeah, I definitely come to pizza at your house.
Yeah. I have a big house. You can stay with me. So I have older children who are on their way out, so I got room.
Yeah, I'll take place.
Yeah, you can take. All right, Megan. Well, thank you so much. And you just have a great day. This will be up by the end of the day. So
thank you very much.
Okay. All right, everybody. Goodbye.